Hey, Lars here again, and we're coming at you. What are you looking at? Don't you be giving me no goofy looks there, okay? We're coming at you again from a double secret location near Mankato, where the Vikings are in training camp getting ready for the measly Jets. Mighty Vikes rematch. Vikes are going to come out on top again, don't you know, wine guy? Before I tell you about a prediction for the game, I want to do a little wine tasting. So I got a wine from the Temecula region when I was down there with Mrs. Lars, and we had a Filsinger Cabernet Sauvignon, and it's 10% Merlot, and then well, the rest is Cabernet, so that would be, carry the one. Well, it's 10% Merlot and the rest is Cabernet. It's about 10 bones down at the winery, and it's a 2,000 there, don't you know. What I'm doing is I'm decanning the wine. Wine guy says if you decant the wine, it's really good. It opens it up and it tastes even better. Don't you know, it's good. Okay, so, well, honey, I'm doing a recording here for the wine guy. Okay, dear. You want a couple snorts? I'll be right back. Don't you go nowhere. Okay, we're back now. We decanned the wine for about 2 hours. I'm going to pour it into my wine glass there. Oh, little drip, little there, a bit for the birdies. Okay, there we go. Swirl it, give it a whirl. Okay, now, it's got good, believe me, it's got good color there. Can you see it? Okay. And, you know, it's got a really leathery smell to it, like an old wine. It's a 2000, so it's got some age on it. Holy buckets, that's good stuff. It's got like some tobacco on it and some leather, like saddle leather, not on a horsey, you know. I don't ride horses no more. It's for a saddle for my ski-doo, you know, a nice little black and yellow leather. Good stuff, you know. I would give this sucker, I give it 89 points. If you're in Temecula, look up for Filsinger, Cabernet Sauvignon with 10% Merlot. And anyway, we'll go on to the prediction. It's a preseason game, so the first quarter is all that matters. At the end of the first quarter, Vikes, mighty Vikes, 21. Wine Guy's measly Jets, 3. It's all I'm going to give you. Wine Guy, have a good season after this, okay? But now you're going to suck. Okay, take it away. I like this stuff. Okay, I'll give you another snort. Just hold your horses there. Jeez. Stop the camera.
I don't think so, Lars. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Chuck, and this is the Thunder Show, aka WLTV, Laid Back Friday. But in like professional gear, I'm pissed about that. I personally apologize. It's just the way it is sometimes. And today we have a very interesting episode. I'm going to call it the trademark episode. The trademark infringement episode. Or the episode of two wines. Mott, get in here. Two wines from two totally different wineries that, if you got to be honest about it, look awfully the same. They're both from Australia. They both have big scores. They're both pretty sought after. Sometimes you got to roll the dice and call people out. Somebody's getting sued, and at least it's not going to be me. So, let's talk about these two wines in a quick second. Lars making that bullcrap prediction. You know the Jets are going to kill the Vikings. We killed you last year in the regular season, so even if this week we're working on special things and it doesn't work out for us, you still lost. We still own you. Still only 3 Thundercats. Wristbands are going out. I can't deal with any more emails. Please know that they are on their way. If you got any problems, you want to post a complaint, go in the forums. Come on, link them up. Go in the forums and put out your dirty laundry. Is that what they say? Let's get into the wine. It's Friday, even though it's not, and I'm excited. The first wine is the Innocent Bystander, Shiraz Viognier. I know we just did this, but we're going to have to do it again. 90 points Josh Reynolds, 97% Shiraz, 3% Viognier, really around the numbers I like. I tend to like 5%, but yes, I know, the big-ass glass is in the house. Be happy about it. Embrace the big-ass glass and let's get right into this wine. Again, 15 bones, 90 points, Josh Reynolds, who's a very good wine critic that writes for Stephen Tanzer's International Wine Cellar, and I'm a big fan of him, and for $15, this wine has been huge at WL. It's been flying, so I'm kind of excited about trying it, and let's get into that. Right off the bat, some really nice color, but Australia always brings some nice color. So does kind of everybody else. Nice little cocoa-esque kind of aspect to it. I'm getting a little bit of plum, but I'm also getting a little dirtiness. Not as aromatically exciting. Definitely not A&E as much as many other Shiraz Viogniers. A lot more old world in its approach on the nose that I would have suspected. So that has got me completely off balance early on. Let's give it a whirl. My God, it's real. It's not over the top. This is not a fruit bomb. I am shocked. This wine is very complete, very complex. I really like the sour, and I'm talking as sour as cherry has ever, I mean, real sourpuss, like, that's what this cherry looks like. Very sour cherry component that shoots throughout the palate on this wine. I'm getting black licorice Twizzlers, which is very interesting, very unusual combination that's going over very well. And then you have sprinkled throughout, like a fine salad, green colored croutons. If that makes any sense, it's like croutons, but throw a lot of lettuce and celery and cabbage in there. This wine has a vegetal component that I did not expect. We're going much more Rhone wines here. It's not a cote roti, but I'm very comfortable in calling this a baby cote roti. We just did cote roti. I'm going to say cote roti one more time just for kicks and giggles. And I'm going to tell you, in comparison to those wines, which are in the $40 range, this at $15 is bringing serious thunder. And I am downright excited about the overall quality of this wine. I'm shocked. This is nothing close to what I expected. Did not taste anything like this when we did the Shiraz Viognier episode. I guess a little bit, that Chapoutier did have a little bit of that, but that was a little bit different too. Wow, this is the kind of wine that's so up my alley. If you're a big fan of Australian Shirazes, very, very black, opulent, explosive, over-the-top, rich, dense wines, this is not for you. This is more medium to full-bodied, classic claret Bordeaux style in its mouthfeel, with really I don't know. I just did not think that this was going to be made in an old world, real world style. The real world meets the old world. I should be on the next real world. Am I too old? Yeah, I got too old. God damn it, I hate getting old. Anyway, this is real wine, folks. And for $15, you don't come across this every day. Josh Reynolds nailed this. I actually think he underrated it. I'm a little bit more of this style. As you know, I'm not looking for the oak and the fruit bombs as much as other people. I'm completely confused by this wine. Ended confused on the kosher wine. Oh, they don't even know about that yet. We taped it out of order. That's a little sneak peek. This is serious wine. This is a wine that I would really like to see people seek out, because if you're into wine, getting into wine, these are the kinds of wines you need to seek out because they're true. This is a true expression, and I should have known it. There it is. It's from Victoria, so it's not Barossa or McLaren Vale. I did not realize that, so that maybe was the first telltale sign. Little cooler climate kind of concept. This wine is kicking butt. 2004, quickly becoming one of my favorite vintages in Australia. Wasn't so over the top. I'm going to score this wine 91 plus, and I'm going to say it is a screaming value and a must-have. I think there's a lot of people who are going to enjoy this wine. This is real wine. Kudos to Innocent Bystander. Kudos to Josh Reynolds for putting it on our radar. 90 points from him, 91 plus from me, because Josh, you're wrong. Fantastic start. So fantastic that I'm ready to answer some questions, and let's get right into it. And to get a question on WLTV live on Laid Back, Lazy Fridays, you need to go up here. And if you're on iTunes and you have no idea what you're talking about, or excuse me, what I'm talking about, we have a website, WineLibraryTV.com. right up here. You've got to go to network. You go in there, you'll see the ask a question. The community's answering questions, I've noticed. People are doing a good job. Hardcore Vaniacs, originals, do me a favor. You got all weekend. Get in there and answer questions for about 20 minutes. I'd like to get some data for the new people. It's really nice. And Dave is going to start us off with saying, where's the best place to buy a wine refrigerator? Are there any secondhand dealers, must-have brands, best size for standalone units? Dave, number one, buy the biggest unit you can afford, because everybody I know in the history of wine collecting has overdone it. Number two, this is for the ballers and the shot callers, but if you can afford to build a wine room in your basement, I highly recommend that you never buy a unit, because I promise you, you will absolutely spend money for no reason whatsoever. So, build in a closet downstairs, whatever you want to do, that is the way to go. But number one, the real question at hand, I have a Sub-Zero unit, which is very reliable and that I love. But Mott, link this ask question in the links below, because this is where I think community really comes in. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of you right now, lurkers, I'm talking to you too, that have units and know if it sucked or if it was rad. And this is time to help out Dave. So Dave, look below, there's a link to the ask section. Mott, hopefully the community will come out and force us. I'm looking for at least 94.4 answers. Because you know Kahuna's going to give a 0.4 answer. It's going to say, what are wine refrigerators? Next, Tim F., who I went to Napa with very recently. Why is there such an animosity amongst people from different wine boards? What he means by wine boards is different chat boards around the internet. Tim, there shouldn't be any. It's a complete joke if people get mixed up in that. It's just not smart. It's not productive. The Wine Library TV forum, Mott, I'm putting you to work today. I'm having fun. Link down below if you don't know what we're talking about. We have a forum where people can talk, tasting notes, ask questions. We have a lot of fun in there. You learn a heck of a lot more there than you do from me, because I'm only one guy. Because remember, you with a little bit of me, that stuff. So it's a great place to be, great team effort, and I expect all Vaniacs in there. If people come from eBob or Wine Spectator or Wine Depot or any of these, all these different wine boards, they should be welcomed with open arms. Everybody's got different styles. Let's all get along. It's the key to life. There's no reason. Tone, don't forget, tone is lost. People might be joking, but people take it seriously. Come on. It's just, life is way too good. We're so goddamn lucky. Whatever. Let's move on. A little rinsey rinse. I hope that I didn't offend anybody by rinsing the next wine with the next thing. You got confused, right? Because they look so similar?
You rinsed with the wrong bottle.
No, I didn't. I rinsed with this bottle.
Yeah.
That's the next wine?
Yes.
Yeah, see? You even got confused. Told you, trademark infringement. I'm telling you. Parsons Flat, 2004 AD. That's pretty funny. Shiraz Viognier, 70% Shiraz, 30% Cabernet. Mott, stop looking. I know what I'm doing. This is the right wine. I'm telling you, it's the right wine. Yeah, it's the right wine. You're even confusing me now. 70% Shiraz, 30% Cab, $30 US, 93 points. 93 points. Robert Parker, winemaker. Kim Johnstone is remarkably talented. I met her years ago in Australia. Lovely, lovely lady. Knows exactly what she's doing when you want a big, massive, in-your-face, baseball bat to your teeth kind of wine. And I'm talking about Major League Baseball, not stainless steel aluminum, good old-fashioned American oak. And this is 100% American oak, 80% of which is new. So I'm just getting all riled up. Is the Oak Monster. The Oak Monster is definitely lurking and getting ready to nail me. But I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just prejudging. Great color, definitely darker than the last wine. On the nose, it is far more attractive. This is the kind of, maybe this is the, it's like the kind of girl you don't take home to mom, kind of attractive compared to the, it's like conversation over, this is pretty, this is seducing me, I'm going for it. Maybe I better, put my best face forward. Actually, this is probably my best face forward. That's a little obnoxious with the extra button, but hey, I collect Thundercats. That's gotta make her like me, right? This is very opulent, very extracted, very over the top. It tastes like blackberry jam mixed with raspberry compote. So it's big. Let's give it a whirl. The oak is coming through a little bit. It's almost giving me a little bit of a headache, but not too much. I mean, this tastes flat. The only thing I could taste the only thing I was focusing on while I was tasting this wine is IHOP. You know, all I could think about was IHOP, 3 o'clock in the morning after high school parties. You know, that was so much fun. Big stack, syrup, but then you'd always like remember IHOP had all the different flavored syrups? So like this one is flat out strawberry syrup that you put from IHOP. It tastes exactly like that. I mean, exactly. Everybody got the memo about the 3D glasses, right? That's why I did that. You think they got them at home, right? Wow. Extracted, dry, good firm tannins, very rich, creamy. Man, this is really like pancakes, no butter. Put cream cheese, then the IHOP, strawberry mix, then take your finger just on the cream cheese and the strawberry mix. That's what this wine tastes like. This is roller coaster time, fruit bomb, explosive, rich, seductive. Lots of you are going to like this wine. It's a little bit too much for me, a little fakey fake, a little bit like, hey, should I buy this or should I buy buckets and buckets of high C strawberry juice? A little alcohol in it, but not obnoxiously over the top, not as bad as many of the wines that have really bothered us in the past. To me, this is not a 93-point wine like Parker suggests. I'm going to go more to the direction of 90 points because I do like it. It's got a lot of structure, it's got a lot of class, and it's got plenty of personality, and it's seducing me a little bit with its little flavor flav. You know, it's never a wrong thing to drink it over the top. There's a time and there's a place for everything. Sometimes I do want to eat dessert at lunchtime. That's what this reminds me of. It's a good solid wine. There's a lot of people that are crazy about this wine. I'm going to go a little bit below the crazy mode, but I'm going to think it's solid. At $30, it delivers the quality of what it is. You know, maybe it's overpriced, but it's definitely not too shabby. There's a lot of people that would find this wine very interesting, but to me, at exactly half the price, sorry Vulture Man, at exactly half the price, the Innocent Bystander is a better wine, a more interesting wine, definitely a wine that's more food friendly. This wine could last 3 to 5 years. I think the Parson's got 7 to 10 in it. It's got better, stronger, firmer tannins, but if you want to go with food, where the Parson's is really a cheese wine in my opinion, this would go tremendous with just about anything. Really leaning towards, a hen. God, I love hen. Why don't I like hen so much? You like hen?
Yeah.
Little quail. Thinking little birds. Moving on. Mike Brennan says, how do you tell whether a wine you're tasting is age-worthy? Mike, tremendous question. I'm sure a lot of people would like to get this answered, and so I'm going to answer it for you. For me, I'm sure it's different for everybody. For me, it comes down to tannin versus fruit ratio. How firm and ripe and explosive is the fruit in comparison to how tight and rigid and complex are the tannins. And that ratio, imaginary-wise, in my head, really gets me to my age guess. If there's a lot of tannins and a lot of fruit, this is a wine that can last a whole lot. If it's a lot of fruit and low tannins, not too bitter, too silky, and you're not identifying any underlying tannin flavors, it's a wine that I only think you can drink for 2 to 4 years. If it's all tannins and no fruit, that always concerns me. I know it can last forever, but will the fruit ever get up to the point where you'll actually enjoy the wine? So there's a lot of different scenarios, but it's that tannin or acidic in a white wine, the acidity versus the fruit component. It's a very interesting balance. I think it's over time and experience that you really get used to seeing, wines break down and how they change. And I've had the privilege of drinking a lot of old wines. It's very, very tough. But, trial and error. If you do find wines, and I know this is against my theory of buying 365 wines. I did it a couple Fridays ago every day. But if you really do find something you're passionate about, you think it's a great deal, more than welcome to buy a case of wine. But do me a favor, save 4 or 5 bottles and drink one each over the next 4 or 5 years. And if you use your corked account or any other tracking mechanism, you could really see how your tastes have evolved and how the wine's evolved. And I think there's real opportunity of figuring out how a wine changes by using the same wine that you feel comfortable with. And you start just kind of putting that towards other wines. Like that wine. Todd Breholz says, what's the deal with the punt? I saw your amazement at the depth of the punt on your Sea Smoke episode. What purpose does the punt serve? What purpose does the punt serve? Well, if you have a stagnant offense, like let's say the New York Giants, and Eli Manning is not very good at it, and you're on a position where it's like 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, and you decide to run a draw, which the Giants would do to Jacobs and get 3 yards because they're scared Eli will throw a pick. At that point, positioned on the field, a punt would come in very handy because it's almost like, it's like a game of Risk or something. You would then kick the ball to the other team, giving them far less position. Field position is really the key to the NFL, and turnovers. Everybody knows that. And so, a punt is very, very important, especially if you have a kicker who can kind of angle it and put it out of bounds so there's no opportunity for return, like a Leon Johnson of the Jets or Darrelle Revis, who could take it all the way back with the skill that they have. So I find punting to be a very important key to success. Question of the day. What 2 things, and we're going to get very philosophical, this is where we're really going to get some phenomenal answers. What 2 things do you have in your life or know in your life that look exactly the same but are completely different? Because you, with a little bit of me, we are changing the wine world whether you like it or not. Have a great weekend.